Japanese summers are no joke. The heat, the humidity, it can feel like you're melting. But the Japanese have come up with some pretty surprisingly clever ways to stay cool. Some of them are beautiful, some delicious, and a few might just surprise you. So if you're sweating through your shirt, stick around because the Japanese cooling tricks might be just what you need this summer. As you know from my other videos, I live on the coast of Wakayama, and the heat and humidity combo makes Japan's summer feel a lot hotter than the actual temperature. The heat index value surprisingly surpasses 40 degrees due to the humidity. So it's no surprise that a lot of the shops sell things like personal fans and neck coolers and things like that. But today I'm looking at the more traditional things, and one of them is the furin. Furin is a wind chime, and it's supposed to make you feel cooler because you can hear the wind. Instead of just feeling it on your body, you hear it with your ears and it mentally cools you down. Here's some sounds. How do you feel? Cooler already? Well, this is one of the Japanese things that really signifies summer to me. Another thing which I heard from one of my students is the sudare. This is a bamboo blind. They're very cost effective. That's 398 yen. And the reason these are so good is they not only reflect the heat, but the gaps let the air come through. So I'm definitely getting one of those. And another student told me she was swimming in her backyard pool. And I was like, what? You have a pool in Japan? And what she was referring to is her grandkids' pool that they put in the backyard. And she was jumping in for a dip. And I thought, hang on a minute, I can do that too. What a great idea. So I'm going to try her trick of jumping in the backyard pool. I'm not going to forget about Millie, and Chow have put out these special churu, which are especially for rehydrating your cats. They come out every summer, and Millie absolutely loves them, so I'm going to get those. Also, Millie's water fountain, it died, and unfortunately it was just past the warranty. It was 18 months old, and the problem I think was it was run by USB, so I'm getting her this one that's a power connected one. I already have a water mat for Millie, so I'm not going to buy one of the gel mats that they have available. And Millie has been using this water mat. I've found her spread out on it a couple of times. Another thing I was really keen on trying is kakigori. In summer, many cafes in Japan offer kakigori on their menu, but it is a little bit pricey for what it is. So I thought, you know what, I'm going to make my own. I'm going to do it myself at home. So it's the next day now, and I've woken up early and I'm going to get my house ready for summer. So I've got a few jobs that I'm going to do today, and I hope you stick around to watch all of the things I'm going to do to my house. Starting off with the garden, and I have to use the Wakayama specific rubbish bags to throw away my garden waste. You can't just put it in any bag, it has to have the special Wakayama writing on it. Today's due to hit a top of 35 degrees, so it's the first time we've pretty much gone over 30 degrees since winter. So yeah, it's going to be a hot one. I haven't picked a good day to do it, but it's now or never because the temperatures are just going to keep rising. So I really need to get into the garden. A lot of the early summer spring crops have finished now, just like the green beans. So I'm just picking the last of the green beans. It is just getting too hot outside here for them now. So this is where I'm going to put the sudare up to cover this open area. During winter, I like it open to get lots of sun, to warm up the garden and warm up the house. But in summer, it's not that great. So I always leave a couple of beans there to dry out, and guess what? Now I've got seeds for next spring. I'm going to put these in my little seed drawer, and I'll be able to reuse these again next year. So these plastic containers, they're recycled drink bottle containers, they worked brilliantly, and they had little reservoir of water down the bottom, and they kept the beans alive for a really long time. And it did what I hoped. It climbed up onto the netting and created a bit of a canopy. But now it's just gotten too hot. So I need to get out and just turn the soil over and get ready to plant my next crop for the next phase of the weather. One of the problems I do have in summer in Japan is deodorant, and that's why I've partnered with Wild today. It's hard to get good deodorant here in Japan, and Wild is sustainable, it's vegan, and it's cruelty-free. But best of all, it's effective, and that's why I'm using it. You can even personalize your case. Mine has my name on it. There's a really flexible subscription service that you can pause or cancel at any time you like. I don't have to ask all my friends and family to bring deodorant over here for me anymore. There's some amazing scents. I've got coconut and vanilla, fresh cotton and sea salt, and today I'm using the ocean mist scent. Japanese people don't really like overpowering scents, and the good thing with Wild is the scents are nice, but they're definitely not overpowering. You can scan the QR code or click the link in the description for 20% off all of Wild's products. This is a real summer lifesaver. So if you're wondering why Japan is so hot and humid, the main reason is that it's surrounded by ocean on all sides, which means high moisture in the air. There is a bit of a monsoon climate, so especially at the start of June, we usually have lots of rainfall, and that creates sort of warm, moist air. And then you've got the urban areas which basically trap all of the heat and humidity. Just imagine lots of concrete and lots of heat, and it just radiates off. In the countryside, it isn't so bad. I mean, there is a breeze, but it's still very, very hot. So yes, 90% humidity is real. It's common here, and it's brutally uncomfortable in summer. One of the best things you can do is just learn to adapt and check out what Japanese people are doing to stay cool and just try and copy them, which is exactly what I'm doing. And I'm putting this sudare up just to shade my entranceway to my door. And as I said, I want to keep this open in winter because I need the heat. But in summer, I don't need the heat. Millie, of course, being her helpful self, is helping me with the cable ties. I just want to temporarily put this up, and I am going to cut it down as soon as summer is over. So the best option for me is just to put it up with some cable ties. Cable ties are like my best friend. You can see I've built this whole catio using cable ties to put all the netting up. It's a little bit of trial and error, but somehow I'm getting this to work. So these traditional bamboo blinds called sudare, they've been used in Japan for actually over 1,000 years, and they date all the way back to the Heian period. And they were originally used in aristocratic homes to create privacy but still let the air in. So they're still popular these days in summer, and the main reason is they let the breeze through. So it's basically natural cooling without using any electricity. My snow peas have also finished. I got so many snow peas, and again, these ones climbed up the netting, which is just what I wanted them to do. Oops, sorry, Millie. So let me give you a quick tour of how the veggie garden is going so far. My biggest success, without a doubt, has been cucumbers. I'm pulling in about 2 to 3 cucumbers every second day. It's insane how they've taken off. My secret is that I did let the garden bed rest over winter, and then I pulled it up and gave it lots of compost and turned over compost. So I'm also growing corn, eggplant, okra. This is the okra, which is just starting to come on. In here I've got tomatoes and watermelon as well, which I haven't seen any watermelon yet. But this mixed gardening style seems to be working really well. All the plants seem to hang on to each other, and it just seems to work for some reason. Everything was thrown in here small as seedlings, and look at it now. The summer heat and me giving it a water every day has produced a really good garden that is producing a lot of great food. So I'm going to pick this eggplant. It looks ready now, and I want to get to it before any animals get to it. I'm not using any kind of pesticides, so I've been really lucky that nothing has gotten to this. One of the things I've been really conscious of is only planting things that I actually enjoy eating. So along with all of the veggies that I've got in this garden, I've also got tomatoes. And these tomatoes I'm going to show you now, I actually grew from seed from a really delicious tomato that I got at the farmer's market. The ones in this pot I just kept a bit separate, and the ones from the farmer's market actually worked because a lot of seeds, they're modified so you can't regrow them, but the farmer's market ones I could regrow, so I was stoked with that. Now I want to show you out the back of the house. I planted these sunflowers at the start of spring, and look at them now. In the afternoon or morning, depending on the heat, I've been taking Millie for a little walk out to check out the sunflowers. This is the drain that is used to fill the rice fields. Normally it's dry, but at the moment they're filling the rice fields with water, and that's why the water is flowing. Millie is my little Instagram model. If you haven't seen my Instagram, it's at Chani Japan. I'd love for you to join me along there too, where I post just photos of my regular life. You really wouldn't want to start gardening in the middle of the day. It's already so hot, and I think it's only like 9:30 in the morning. You have to be really careful not to get heat stroke when you're working outside in the summer heat here in Japan. You got to keep yourself hydrated. I'm also watching Millie. She's having a lot of fun. She's just watching me from her little perch, and sometimes I give her a little pat. I put a bit of catnip on my finger because I have a plant which is growing catnip, and I've been drying it out. Straight away she reacts to the catnip. She's so funny. I think I've done as much as I can do this morning. All the worst jobs outside are finished, and now it's time to move on to the fun part, the bit that I've been most excited about, and that is having a swimming pool in Japan. And you're probably laughing and saying, that's not a swimming pool. I know, but it's going to be really nice. Now, I was a bit silly here. I was trying to blow it up using the hole that you use to empty out the water, and obviously that didn't work. As soon as I figured that out and got it in the right hole, straight away air started filling up, and that's exactly what I want to see. It was actually really quick. The pool would be about twice the length of my bathtub inside, and a lot wider, obviously. Yeah, it's a lot different to just sitting in your bathtub, and I want to sit outside in my garden and enjoy the atmosphere. I'm going to start the hose off now and go inside and make some lunch. I reckon this is going to take a little while to fill up. I'll come back out and check on it a bit later. So let's go inside and do some inside jobs. I might even have to turn the air on if it gets too hot. First of all, I need to get rid of Millie's broken water fountain. It has served her well, but like I said, it's USB run, and I think that was the problem. The USB just stopped working after a while. So this new one is plug into power, and it holds actually a lot more water. I usually fully replace the water every couple of days. I really like a water fountain because in the wild, cats naturally prefer moving water because it's likely to be clean and safe, and the still bowl of water just doesn't trigger that same instinct. It's also got a filter and the constant circulation, which just means less bacteria buildup, and it just keeps fewer floating hairs or dust on top of the water. I monitored Millie for quite a while after I bought her the first fountain, and I did notice that she was drinking a lot more water compared to a still bowl. This one is a little bit different, so it might take Millie a while to get used to it. I'm just testing it out on the table. I don't leave it here on the table. It goes down on the floor near the laundry, but I'm just putting it here to check it for a little while before I put it down. Millie's going to watch it as well. Well, it's definitely time to have some lunch, but I thought I might give Millie a little treat first. Millie doesn't have lunch. She has 2 meals a day. She has her wet food in the morning and the night, and she's always got dry bickies available. I just give her a churu as a special treat when we're doing something together. She's been outside with me all morning, so it's nice to give her a little treat. I think summer can also be tough on cats too, especially a cat like Millie with so much fur. I do always keep a close eye on her, make sure she's got that cool water, and I let her choose how she wants to spend her day. Like, I don't force her to come outside with me. I just leave the door open and let her choose what she'd like to do. So let's get into my favorite summer food for the moment. And of course, I'm using cucumbers from my garden. Unfortunately, my camera stopped working right at a crucial moment, but I marinate these in some vinegar, salt, and monk fruit sugar. Put it in the fridge while I'm preparing my tofu, which I'm going to make you hiyayakko. And it's a great tofu dish that I heard is pretty common in Japan in summer. And for that, you need ponzu. Ponzu is a citrus sauce, usually yuzu or lemon or sudachi, and it's got soy sauce, mirin, and a bit of kombu and rice vinegar in it, and it gives it a sort of vinegary flavor. So basically you need the ponzu sauce. You can also use soy sauce, but I like the sort of acidic taste of this one. You get some tofu, some shallots, and grate some ginger on top. And then you just pour the ponzu on over the top of this mix. Now, don't judge me here. I put way too much in. You don't need to put this much in. I think I was watching the camera and just kept pouring. Then I get my cucumber out from the fridge, and they have a nice vinegary flavor too. Now, if you remember a few videos ago, I made plum syrup. So this was just plums and sugar, and it's been turning into this beautiful syrup. I didn't have any soda water, so I'm just topping it up with some iced water. Now you might think this is a really light lunch, but it's so hot. I can't eat anything heavy at the moment, and I've got to save some space in my stomach for the awesome dessert that I'm about to make you. The thing that got me through all of the heat outside in the garden was knowing I'm going to have kakigori, and I can't wait to make this. So I am using the kalpis peach flavor, condensed milk, and I couldn't get fresh mango, so I was able to get some tinned mango. Now, the night before, I put the water in the little container to make the ice brick, and you just shave the ice. You turn the handle round and round, and magically shaved ice appears. I'm putting the peach flavor kalpis, some mango, and condensed milk on top, and it's just the most dreamy, icy cold bowl of dessert you could ever imagine. I mean, sure, there's a bit of calories in the condensed milk and the syrup, but not too much. I mean, it's mostly ice and fruit. Absolutely delicious. Millie's parked up on her back, spread eagle. It is quite hot now. It's the middle of the day. Let's go and check on the pool and see how that water is going. I'm ready to jump in with a non-alcoholic beer and my Life is Journey stubby cooler available in the shop. This Suntory all-free brand is probably my favorite of all the non-alcoholic beers available. It's got a really good taste. I don't mind it at all. So let's go and jump in the swimming pool. All of that hard work is worth it now because I can soak in a nice swimming pool. I feel like I've been looking forward to this so much, like a child, but I have to say this is probably one of the most simplest and satisfying ways to cool yourself down in the Japanese summer, just soaking in a pool, even a little one like this. When your body's overheated, dipping into water just brings your core temperature down naturally, and it also lowers your heart rate and your skin cools, and the heat stress just eases off because there's a fair bit of heat stress. Millie's pretty interested in it, so I thought I'd just give her gently a little dip. She sometimes comes into the bathroom with me when I'm showering. She's a bit funny like that, but she doesn't exactly love the water, but I don't think she hates it either. So I just let her dip her paws in, and then she signaled she'd had enough, so I let her out. Her curiosity was definitely satisfied. Now that I have my pool, I have seen a lot more families setting up inflatable pools in their gardens or even out on their balconies. It really is such a good way to enjoy the moment. Just 10 minutes in the water can make a huge difference, but I have to say I think I was in the pool for about 35-40 minutes. I'm not sure. I was in here for quite a while. I started to turn into a prune. Not long after moving into the house, I did install insulation in the ceiling, and that has made a huge difference. I also have AC upstairs and downstairs, and of course I couldn't survive summer without those. It is nice to just get some fresh air sometimes though, and leave all the windows and doors open. At night time, I sleep on these cooling pads. They're for sale everywhere, like just about every homeware shop sells them. I'm currently here in Canes, so I thought I'd show you theirs, 980 yen. I bought mine from Nitori last year, and I also bought Millie her own one, which she sort of half sleeps on. But it definitely makes a difference just to your skin and feel. So I usually sleep with this, as well as if it's really hot, I have the AC on at nighttime. But yeah, that's about it for today. I think I've shown you everything that I'm doing to keep myself cool in the house. And of course, it's easy just to turn the AC on, and I do have insulation, but all these other things that you can do just help generally with your feeling and your well-being over summer. I feel like summer's something you've got to survive here in Japan. It's not exactly pleasant. Thank you so much for watching again this week, and I really look forward to seeing you again next week. If you haven't subscribed, I'd love it if you joined us. Thanks so much. See you later. Bye.